Theo is here but not connected. Oh, that's interesting. How that works, but whatever.
One more day, and the weekend is here. One more day of going into work and you're pretty much just there using free Wi-Fi. Pulse on Sirius XM operating.
All right, let's tackle macroevolution. If people are willing to engage. Gonna see. It's been actually kind of fun using Notepad. My Notepad. So I gotta admit, Peter did give me this. Give credit where credit is due. So, all right. Let's see what I'm typing as I'm typing it. Each. Peter's here. Hey, Peter.
Hey.
I say though, before we start, I want to thank you for showing me how to do screen sharing. I've been having a lot of fun with it today, and I will just say I give you credit and I thank you for that, sir.
Well, it's just a small thing.
Well, it's a small thing, but it's been I've been
it would mean more you saying this if you stopped insulting people on Twitter.
Well, let's
because
just not.
That's
Peter. Listen,
I don't tell you.
I don't tell you how to run your show. You don't tell me how to run a show. We're here, so let's just leave that.
Oh, so you think that's a good thing, insulting people?
No, I'm just saying for the sake of this show, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, you don't want people to know that you're insulting people on Twitter?
No,
I get that.
No, I'm saying I don't really feel like I'm not interested in talking about that on this on this show.
So why did you send me the link?
Oh, so we can talk about evolution. Can you not?
Oh, you need me to make your content.
There you go.
And you think that I'm on call to make your content. I mean, we could talk about evolution if there was a shred of evidence that you were capable of learning, but you clearly are not.
Anyways, Peter.
It's been 24. It's been 24 hours. So, in your own words, what is the phylogeny challenge? Because I'm going to have a lot of fun with Arn about this.
Well, I mean, can you see what I talked about at the beginning? I mean, I guess macroevolution does include the phylogeny, but that's yeah. I guess that, and for the sake of this show, you are
macroevolution doesn't include phylogeny.
I said it does.
Oh, it does. How so?
Pardon?
How so?
It's because the phylogeny and evolution deals with classification in the descent line in the evolutionary chain. So that's definitely a huge field of evolutionary science, and well, for your side. So
what is it? Is it science? Is it science or is it my science?
It's your science.
It's my science. So all these scientists work for me.
I didn't say that.
Pay them?
No, you're putting words in my mouth.
If it's my science, then I'm the one in charge, right? Because otherwise it's not my science and it's someone else's science.
Well, I'm not really interested in playing a semantics game.
Well, you bring it up, right?
Right.
So why would you bring it up if you don't want to talk about it?
No, I didn't say I want to talk. I said it falls within the parameters of my topic, and so it's fair game. That's pretty much what I've been trying to say.
Okay, so why does science disagree with you? Do you think they're a conspiracy? Do they all hate Robbie? What?
No. That's just nonsensical. If we're gonna have a dialogue, we're gonna have to start with some better engagement rules. I'm not here to make you feel small, and you're not here to make me feel so. So let's just be cordial, like we were.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that people who deny science, those all fall in the same category as flat earthers and conspiracy theorists. I don't think if they're cordial towards me. If they don't insult me, I'll be more than happy to entertain a conversation.
Yeah, so I have no interest in...
Respect goes two ways, right?
Peter, well, the thing I need to I want to tell you about is, if we're going to have a dialogue, that means it has to be dialogical. Like, you like to talk a lot, and that's fine. I like to talk too, but if we're going to have a show, then we need to be dialogical, not monologue.
Who's monologuing?
Well, you monologue. You dialogue, but what you talk too much with it without a break is probably a good way of saying it.
So you don't like honest answers. You want people to just cut those off.
No, I want to ask. I want to ask questions between when you start and when you stop, but it's hard to do that because you don't like to stop. I'm actually wanting to engage you, but you're taking it a different way. When
I'm trying to explain something to someone, I'll probably need more than one sentence, and if that's
I'm not saying more than one sentence. No, I'm not, Peter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like going on for 3, 4, 5 minutes without interruption, which you will do and tend to do a lot. Peter, you can't even listen to. You do that all the time. You lack awareness, man. Since
I jumped on this hangout, how often did I talk for more than 3 or 4 minutes?
Well, it's almost impossible because we've only been here. I'm using it analogously, or as an example.
You're accusing me of something that hasn't happened. Okay.
On this show so far, yes,
that's honest.
But it has happened before many times.
It only has happened one time when I tried to explain to you what 2 times when I tried to explain to you what the phylogeny challenge was. You kept over talking me and still don't know what it is. And then I tried to explain to you how you can live stream using StreamYard. You overtalked me on that as well. And you ended up thinking that screen sharing is the same thing as live streaming. So
no, I didn't. That's
yes, you did.
Well, if that's what you thought,
I recorded the whole thing with audio from both of us.
Well, then
It's
if
on
you
YouTube.
if you
It's on
think that
YouTube. People can
if
go
you,
watch it.
Peter, let me finish. Jesus.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you mid-sentence.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that irks me. Is like,
Yeah.
that
I won't interrupt you again while I'm in the middle of my sentence.
Okay, that is a really bad
That helps.
habit of yours. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And it really does grade me.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And so I won't say projection, but people can just watch this and see how many times you're going to interrupt me, because it's not going to happen. It's going to happen a lot because
okay.
that's you.
Okay. So what is this? I lost my train of thought because of all this useless rhetoric. Oh yeah, I said
Hey.
if oh yeah, I know what I was going to say now. If I gave the impression that I thought screen sharing and going live was the same thing, that I definitely misspoke. But I know they're definitely not the same thing. That's what I was going to say.
People can go watch the video.
That's what I mean. I mean, I know they're different things. So if I conveyed it differently, then I misspoke. But I definitely know they're not the same.
Well, you also were recording the conversation without telling me about it. I don't know exactly what the laws are where you are. I mean,
well,
where I live, that's fine. In some parts of the U.S., it's considered a crime, and you can
where I'm in
persecute
Canada,
people for
so
it.
It's not. Well, I mean, we're live, so I mean, but I figure it's a good
thing.
I
know we're live, but the last time you recorded me without saying me that you were recording.
Okay. So, well, I apologize.
I can check. So I'm friends with the president of American Atheists, so they can tell me exactly where you are and what the laws are.
Okay. But, well, I apologize for not informing you. I should have let you know on the face of it, and I apologize for that. Yeah,
well, you didn't get my sound, so there wasn't a lot to apologize for.
That's fair, but I'm just saying I should be more forthright about that. But I just figure it's probably good for both of us if we both record when we go live, just because so there's no then we just have record of record. That's what's
I don't do that.
Here.
I don't do that. I have offline and on off air and on air conversations with people, and I'm always clear.
I mostly
it is.
Yeah, for longest time I always have offer conversations with most people I talk to. Anyways, so you're the guest, so I'll be a good host. What would you like to discuss, Peter?
I mean, you mentioned evolution. I'm much more interested in any evidence because there isn't any so far. Not even the big organizations can present any evidence for a creation. Other than I say I don't know how this could have happened, therefore God, which is mainly your claim.
I think that's a bit of an oversimplification.
Is it?
I do. I think so.
You have evidence to back up your claim?
Okay, let's be clear. Define your terms. When you say evidence, what do you mean by that, Peter?
I mean testable evidence. Evidence is a body of facts that indicates and it proves one hypothesis over any other. That is evidence.
I would say that's
it's overly simplified. It's overly simplified, but that is what it is.
Okay, but would you say it's fair that we can? Would you agree that we can use induction and inference as a way to prove something to be evidently true?
No, that's not evidence. Those are arguments.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Let me rephrase. Do you think that we can use facts with induction to prove something to be evidently true?
What is a fact with induction? Because a fact is a verifiable thing.
Yeah, for example,
that we can test with measurable accuracy.
Yeah, for example, it's a fact right now that we're live on my StreamYard channel, right?
Yes. And we don't need any inferences to know
No, but just bear with me. Just what's the word? Humor me. That's your expression. Just humor me for a second. It's a fact that right now we're on StreamYard, on my StreamYard channel, correct?
Yes. Well, StreamYard isn't a channel, but
Oh, sorry, an application. It's an application. So we're on live on my StreamYard, and that we can infer that, because we have no reason to believe otherwise, that I trust that you are in the part of the world that you would say you are, that I'm in the part of the world that I say I am, and that we don't need a lot of sources outside of that to know that's true.
I have no clue where you're going with this. But to me it doesn't matter. You can disclose the location you're in or
That's true.
not.
That's
To
true.
me, that doesn't matter. People know where I live. I've mentioned on
Yeah,
air the village that I live in, so I don't have a problem with that.
So if I mentioned what country you're in right now, it wouldn't bother you?
I'm in the Netherlands,
There you go.
just
There you see.
outside
Peter
a
mentioned.
small village called Buurse, which is just outside the city of Enschede, which is
Okay.
probably no North American would be able to pronounce any of those correctly.
Now,
But I
in
mean,
relation to Amsterdam, how
my
far?
house doesn't have an address, so good luck finding me.
I have no intention of finding you.
No, I'm just saying that for people who are watching.
Oh, okay. Relatively speaking, if you were to use a vehicle like just a regular for a sedan car, how long would it take you to drive from Amsterdam from where you live?
Depends on how much lead I have in my foot. I have done that within an hour.
Okay.
If I keep to the speed limits, it would probably take me a little over 2 hours.
Oh wow! So Peter's a speed demon, or has been at some points.
I mean, if there's no one on the road and there's no cops, then yeah, you're in a hurry.
Yeah, it's true.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that now. I couldn't do that now anymore because I did a trip back and forth to Amsterdam with my Mustang, and I had to stop for gas 5 times. So
yeah, I mean it's kind of sad, but I honestly don't know what part of the Netherlands my grandparents are from. But I know my grandfather was Fries. He was from Friesland. One of them.
Anyways. That's in the north.
Yeah, and that's my on my mom's side.
That's
my dad's
Canada, the Canada of the Netherlands, because there are hardly any people living there.
Okay, well, my grandfather was a notoriously stubborn man, but Dutch and stubborn tend to go hand in hand.
No, Frisian and stubborn go hand in hand.
Okay. What is the difference between a Friesman and a Dutchman in terms of personality?
So a Frisian person comes from Friesland, as you said. Mm-hmm. That's the only province in the Netherlands that has their own language.
Really? Interesting. And it's not Dutch.
Not Dutch. It's Friesish.
Okay. He never spoke it, but he
never lost his accent. A lot of English comes from the Frisian language.
Okay, I didn't know.
Awful lot.
I did not know that. Learned something.
Yep.
Yeah. My dad on my dad's dad, he is from Netherlands. I just have no idea what part. Both grandparents on my dad's side, so my dad's mom and dad were born in Holland in the Netherlands, but I have no idea where exactly.
Yeah, after the war, a lot of people immigrated to Canada because the Netherlands was liberated, and this is going to shock all the American viewers, was liberated by the Canadians and the Brits.
I did not know.
not the Americans.
That I did.
And
not.
I've had arguments with an idiot from the US who told me that Canada in the 1930s and 40s didn't have tanks, which was hilarious.
Oh man, that's monumentally ignorant.
Yeah.
I mean,
They also didn't have a navy, so they couldn't have gotten to the UK. I mean,
what?
yeah, that's
Man, see,
the
this is
level
why
of ignorance.
you know that you've probably heard this before, like, but a lot of well, a lot of times, but it happens enough that it's gotten some traction that sometimes an American will actually try to travel with Canadian paraphernalia so they don't look like idiots. But yeah, the colors always should.
I don't know. I got into several fights with this guy because he also made a claim that Patton got a ticker tape parade when he got back in the US, which is kind of weird because I visited the place where Patton was run over by one of his own trucks. And my second hometown is where the university hospital is, where they brought Patton and where he died. And one of my favorite vacationing spots is Luxembourg, where General Patton is buried. So that must have been some ticker tape parade, and then they brought him back to Europe.
Wow.
I guess. I don't know.
So is that guy did you come across him on YouTube or Twitter?
On YouTube.
Okay. I wonder if he has a Twitter.
He's a famous idiot. I mean, there's a meme, a well-known meme called Karate Kyle, and that is him.
It's called what, sorry?
Karate Kyle. And a Canadian recently registered that particular picture of him in a karate outfit. And so he now owns the rights to that picture and is making fun of that guy on a weekly basis, which is, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you know, the thing is, I'm gonna join suits, so to speak, with you on this. Do you just find that smarter people have a harder time in life? Sometimes, like in regards to what's the word? Just like fame. I mean, I'm not saying like that smart people should be famous necessarily, but it seems like it's much easier to get famous being stupid. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, these days that seems to be a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not my shtick. Obviously, it's not yours.
Say again?
I said it's not my shtick. It's not yours either. Like, I don't do things to I don't do stupid things so I can get notoriety, and neither do you. So I say sometimes I misspeak, which gets some traction on the internet apparently.
Yeah.
But I don't live my life just because I don't engage in, I don't know. Like, I'm not about making memes or like I don't go on the internet to target individuals, and like there's this whole thing about this is kind of random, but I mean, just it's kind of indicative of the times and culture we live in, where like what happened was, well, like there'd be co-ed gyms, and these girls pretend like they didn't have a spotter, and all of a sudden the weight got too heavy, and so they can't lift the bar off their arms across their chest to get back up in the resting position. So they'll like try to ask a guy or a couple of guys over to help them, so they're no longer and whatever hurt themselves or whatever. And then the guys would come over and help them, and then the girls would be accused the guy or guys of staring at her, and they were just coming over because she asked for help. And I'm like, this is kind of like clickbait that I just have no use for. And I find it rather embarrassing as a species to that we've stooped so low that we're gonna like film ourselves in a gym for it's like and then put it on YouTube just to get like so it goes viral. I mean that's the kind of stuff that that goes viral, not the stuff we talk about like philosophy or I mean philosophy like has some traction on the internet, but not nearly to the amount of like that kind of stupidity that I was talking about with like the girls going to gyms and pulling those kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's kind of sad that that's more popular. Is probably what I'm trying to say.
What I'm curious about is I asked you for evidence, and then you wanted to redefine evidence, and
I don't
then
want to read
you
it.
and then you changed the subject altogether. So
That's true. No, I mean, this is kind of like open space, so to speak. I mean, it's kind of nice not to have a set thing too, and just be able to dialogue like we're having a beer together or something too, right? I think it's.
I'm just curious.
Oh no, I hear you. That's more than fair. Sometimes I think those kind of conversations, like the one we just had, it kind of puts you in the right frame of mind. You know what I'm saying? I find it helpful, anyways. Go ahead, Peter. I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for any evidence because you
Okay, well, I
not
mean, so
be
be
willing
specific.
to talk about that.
Sure. What evidence are you wanting? Are you asking for?
Evidence for creation.
Oh, okay. So it has to be demonstrable. So we're looking for. Are we looking for observable, testable, repeatable? That's the kind of evidence you're looking for.
I gave you the definition of evidence. I mean,
yeah, you're right. You're right. You did.
The most simple definition too.
You're right.
Oh,
my mind is.
Why would you need me to tell you what evidence I'm looking for? I'm looking for evidence that backs up your claim.
That's fair. No, just that's sometimes the questions. It's a questions of clarification. So we're on the same page about what the terms mean. So we're not having a squabble about what happens when it does get presented. That's that is where I was going with that. So yeah, so I think I use inference. I mean, I've talked about this a little bit before, but I use inference. So for example, there's over 8 billion people on the planet. There's no two people on the planet have the same fingerprints. There's over 3 million light sensitive cells per eyes. Your brain makes the human brain makes over the brain itself makes over 1 billion calculations in a second. Gravitational force is precisely where it needs to be for the conditions of life. The sun is also in the perfect condition, or perfect distance from the Earth for conditions of life. If we're further away, we'd freeze. If we're closer to us, we'd fry. I just think on the face of it, I mean, maybe that's not scientific, but I have a hard time wrapping my head around a world with so much uniformity, so much obvious system, so many systems and design, and with all those things I just mentioned, and say, well, it just happened. For me, that's just laziness.
So in other words, I don't know how it worked, therefore God.
It just
because we have good evidence. We have good evidence how the universe got here. We have good evidence how life got here. We have perfect evidence on how we got to the diversity of life that we see.
So how did life arise? Please enlighten us.
I'd love to, but I'm still waiting for you to put forward any evidence of a creation.
Well, I mean,
there are currently 8 different hypotheses on how life arose. One of which they discovered by accident in a lab that where they were doing an experiment that wasn't even aiming at abiogenesis, but parts of it happened.
Hmm.
So, um, I mean, the fact that you're asking me seems to me a little bit of silly. You have the internet. If you really would want to know, how come you don't know already what evidence there is? How come you know so little about evolution and yet claim that you can debunk evolution when you have no clue how it works? That to me is mind-boggling. And then when I ask you for
I think it's
evidence,
I think it's
for evidence,
mind-boggling to believe in an uncreated universe. That to me, that's mind-boggling.
when we have all the evidence of how we got here,
Abiogenesis evidence? Are you kidding me?
I, I hate to break it to you, but I just told you that we have that the first steps have happened in a lab by accident.
And it happened in a lab, so that it means
More
so,
than once. Yeah, it happened in a lab. So do
so
you
because it
really
happened in
think?
a
Do
lab,
you really think? No, hold on. Do you really think that if people recreate the environment that a fish needs to live in an aquarium, that is evidence that it for intelligent design? No, it's not.
no,
It's copying something from nature and then
Hmm.
finding out that fish can actually live there. So if you recreate an environment that was present on this planet 3.8 billion years ago, that's not intelligent design. That is seeing how nature behaved back then. And if one of the conclusions is that literally one of the most important building blocks of life arose spontaneously, that is good evidence for abiogenesis. Because RNA can form spontaneously. RNA creates DNA. So we have a very good idea on how life got here. The fact that you don't know because you have never educated yourself on the topic, I mean, that's not up to us. And it makes you look stupid when you argue these things on social media with while not knowing the facts. And all you have is you don't have an explanation on how we got here, therefore God. And when people ask you to come up with a shred of evidence of creation, because no one has seen anything being created,
Well,
and if you need to believe the Bible, not
nobody
even
has.
Adam has.
That's true, but
So
the thing is, no one saw when the world was formed anyway. So at the base level, you're going to have to admit, Peter,
we
everyone has
see
to.
how
Well,
worlds.
Peter, let me finish. I let you finish. So, Peter, let me finish.
Oh, because you're incorrect.
Peter, let me
You're
finish.
making a claim that's false.
Peter, let me finish. I
Go
I
ahead.
let you. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
So none of us alive today saw the universe form. However long ago that was, none of us were there. So on the face of it, Peter, you're gonna have to concede that every human being on the planet is gonna have to make some leaps and not no. So everyone on the planet is gonna have to concede that we can't prove 100, not even 90%. There's going to have to be some assumptions about your epistemology for origins.
Weird, because we've basically figured out 99.9% of how the universe formed. We know how planets formed. We know how matter formed. We know how the first suns formed. We know how the elements were formed, where the elements were formed, the process in which the elements were formed. We know how planets form. We know how solar systems form. We know how galaxies form, and you don't know any of this, and so you say we don't know all of this. This is so weird.
That's a false equivocation, which you do repeatedly, by the way.
No. That was your claim. One of your claims is we don't know how Earth formed. We see planets form in real time.
No, that's not what I said.
In different stages.
Peter,
so we know how Earth formed.
Peter, what I said was none of us were there when the Earth formed.
Yeah, none of us were there when God created it. Okay, great.
I agree. So Peter, you got to let me finish, okay? I let you finish without interruption. Now you got to.
I'm just showing you how stupid these arguments are, and I'm so tired of hearing them over and over and over again. By people
Peter,
who
I'm not
haven't
concerned.
educated
I'm not concerned with what. How tired are you? That's irrelevant to me. Okay. Okay, good. Because we both sides all get tired about certain arguments because they're just the same. But I mean that's just par for the course about our species, unfortunately. But my position, my where I was trying to go with that is on the face of it, you're gonna have to concede that regardless of where you stand on origins, everyone's going to have to take some things. I'm not saying a lot of things. I'm not saying everything. But you're going to have to take some things on faith. Some things.
Great. What's an epistovist?
A what?
An epistovist.
I don't know.
I'm an epistovist. So what's an epistovist?
I just told you I don't know. So I don't like repeating myself.
That is someone who rejects faith as being the most dishonest position to take. And every claim made based on faith should be rejected for that reason. I don't have faith. And I'm Dutch.
You have faith.
Guess what the Dutch don't have a word for? Faith.
But you do have faith.
I don't have faith.
You have some.
No, I don't have any. Everything in my life is evidence based.
Right now, I can prove that you have some faith. Right now, I can prove it.
Take your best shot.
Okay, you weren't there when everyone included when the universe was formed. You have faith that what you believe is true, and you don't have perfect evidence for it.
No, I don't have any faith. I know what I've learned about how the universe formed. That is me standing on the shoulders of some of the brightest people on the planet. And while I don't understand some of it, I had a conversation with what I consider to be one of the best in the field, which is Sean Carroll. I talked to him one-on-one and then hosted a show with him in R&Ra, and then we talked some more.
Okay.
This guy has a lot of evidence. He's currently one of the people who made it so the consensus now is shifting from the universe having a beginning to the universe being eternal. And that is following the latest evidence. So I don't need faith. I can just check the findings of people. And I can check some of the findings, even though I'm not that smart.
Well, apparently some atheists said that thought that you and Aaron are at least 10 times smarter than me.
I couldn't make that assessment because I have no clue.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I do know, as I just told you, that you're not educating yourself. To me,
by whose standard?
That's not the hallmark of being smart.
See, my position is I'm not educated according to your narrative, your worldview, your dogma. So that therefore I'm not educated because I don't buy this. I don't accept certain things that you do. And in your mind, that makes me maybe less intelligent. I don't know.
What do you not accept that I do?
Well, obviously, I don't accept macroevolution. I don't accept atheism.
You can, so you don't accept something that we have observed in real time.
What have we observed in real time that
Macroevolution.
Well, okay, what about macroevolution have we observed in real time?
One species evolving into a new species. Because
Which
that's what
that?
macroevolution is. Macroevolution is a change in allele frequencies at or above the species level. Macroevolution is a scientific claim. I know that most young Earth creationists aren't smart enough to figure that out, and they think they can give something a scientific term, a new definition. I mean, I can go and go to a car dealer and say I wanna buy a Fugazzle, and if they ask me what that is, then I'll say it's a thing you can use to get from point A to point B. It has 4 wheels and a steering wheel and headlights, but it's called a Fugazzle. And if they then tell me no, it's called a car, I can start arguing with them that's not a car. It's a Fugazzle, but I'll just look stupid. In the exact same way, young Earth creationists look stupid when they bring up macroevolution and don't know what it means.
Yeah,
it has been observed. It has been observed. There's an ongoing project that is in the tens of thousands of generations where we have learned so much about stuff that applies to us, that we can apply it in medicine, we can apply it everywhere. Saying that something that has happened and we can. So, do you think that people eat grass?
No.
So, what would you call corn?
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think of corn as grass.
People created corn out of Mexican grass. Corn is a grass. It's a species of grass.
But most people don't think of grass when they're eating corn. So that's what I'm trying to say.
No. And if you would see the two next to each other, you wouldn't think it's the same thing, right?
Of course not.
People made it. So, are cauliflower and broccoli the same thing?
No.
Are they both the wild mustard plant?
I hear you. No, I understand what
this is. This is humans applying evolution to get new species that they can actually eat. So, if you say I haven't seen it happen, I haven't seen big differences. Cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all of those come from the same common ancestor, and humans made them.
Okay.
And you say we haven't seen this happen. It's mind-boggling.
Well, you're talking about something different. I mean, what you're talking about isn't macroevolution.
Humans created dogs. If macroevolution wasn't real, where the hell did dogs come from?
Other dogs.
My dog's objecting right now. What? What? Go tell him. Tell him dogs are real.
I believe dogs are real. Have you told that?
Harley, what? Tell him dogs are real. Tell him. Speak. Speak.
It is okay, Peter.
Speak.
Peter,
my dog's annoyed that you deny that he exists.
I didn't deny that he exists. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You said speciation hasn't happened. You said macroevolution hasn't happened. I mean, how
Oh,
on earth can you make a claim like that when you see a dog? I honestly don't get it.
oh, I accept microevolution. That's not the issue. Macro is a whole other ballgame.
Yes, macro is dogs evolving from wolves.
But no one's
That's
observed that.
macroevolution. Humans created dogs. What on earth are you talking about? That's documented.
No, I'm saying we've
Granted,
never.
granted, those documents,
I've
those
you see.
documents go back.
Hold on, Peter.
than
Let
you
me ask.
think they are old.
I no, no. I said you said that dogs were have evolved from coyotes or something like that, or maybe the other way
No,
around.
no. All dog species that humans have, domesticated dogs, evolved from. We made them evolve through artificial selection using evolution. They were all made out of Asian wolves.
Oh, okay, that's a little different than what I thought you were saying initially.
Well, this happened on two different occasions on two different continents 10,000 years ago, which would precede the, the the world and the universe you think was created, which is weird.
All right. Well, so I just banned someone from my comment section who was talking about jacking off, and I just got no use for that kind of disgusting rhetoric on my socials.
Yeah, I know that creationists tend to ban more people and ban people more easy than atheists do.
Well, that's kind of disgusting, don't you think?
I mean, if that's their thing, is it hurting you?
No, but I mean, I just like I want to have some like
I
respect.
mean, you wouldn't last long in Germany because one of my girlfriends loves to go to
How many
one
girlfriends you
of the
got,
parks
Peter?
in two.
Two?
That's enough for me, at least.
I'd say one's enough, but that's my stake. But
I didn't choose to. I just got
well,
to.
you didn't have to say yes to both of them.
No,
There you go.
but if it works, what's the problem?
Does it work? Do they know each other? They know about the other?
Well, they live in the same house, so they probably met, and they met long before they met me.
Okay.
They
So
met
wait,
each other.
they're both aware that they have a relationship with you, and it's known to each
Oh,
other.
they're also aware that they have a relationship with each other because they've had that longer than they have had a relationship with me.
Interesting.
But one of them really likes to go to a German park where you can just strip off and be naked in public. Not going to be a problem. It would be a
Oh yeah,
problem in
I've heard,
North America,
yeah,
I guess.
I've heard that
Because
Netherlands is a little more open, more free spirited than a lot of other.
oh, I
Places.
did say Germany, but I mean the Netherlands. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, sorry.
We had full frontal nudity on TV in when I was 2 years old in 1964.
Oh, so you guys are. But I guess the common term today with you're progressive.
Yeah, that's probably why we don't have a lot of sex crimes, why we don't have a lot of crime in general.
Yeah, it's true because you're not ashamed about sexuality. There is
Yeah, if you prohibit a lot of things,
yeah, it tends to
then
backfire.
yes, it
They
does.
tried to do that in Korea. I don't know if you're aware, but a lot of Asian countries are very strict with things regarding sexuality, and they usually have a lot of sex crimes and
We
sexual.
don't have to go to Korea. We can just stick we stay in the US. I mean,
Yeah, U.S. is
I track a Christian organization that will, and I have to say kudos to them, they will put on full blast any priest, pastor, minister
Oh, who
that
does think
uh,
sexual assault or molesting?
yes.
Yeah, I
And
will.
so
I'd
they
be right there with him. I'd blast that person too. I'm right there with you, man.
they find on average 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, last year I thought it was either last year or 2022. The Southern Baptist Convention, which is the largest Christian denomination in the United States, had 700 confirmed cases of sexual abuse. That's just what we can confirm. There's probably thousands more that
I
are not.
mean, I mean, it's Christians uh, who denied uh, having sex with minors as being criminal in the U.S.,
It
and they
is.
in
It could
fact
be more.
lowered the age in which you can have sex with children.
That's disgusting.
Well, it seems to be a Christian thing, so
Well, I think
I
I
don't
think
know.
we got to. I think. Well, I mean, this could be seen as a no true Scotsman fallacy. I'm aware of that, but
No, not if the
no,
people
no. For
who
me,
are
for me, for
voting
no,
are no,
no.
no, not if the people who are voting are all Christians, Bible believing Christians. And I'm not going to tell one Christian that he's not a Christian, because you guys need to figure that out among each other and then tell us
That's what
the
the mess
rules.
is. I think the people that do that aren't. But I mean, that's probably
My
neither
best
here nor
my best
there.
friend is a Christian, and he would tell you that you're not a real Christian. So
That's fine. Why would you tell me that I'm not a real Christian?
because you deny science.
Oh, so what does my faith in Jesus have to do with the acceptance of science? I don't see there.
According to him,
to,
according to him,
that
and
seems
this
like
is
a
just
false
him.
equivocation. Okay,
According
so
to him, is that God made us so we could pursue science, and we
hmm,
could find out the truth about nature and about the universe.
but the problem with his
So
argument is
people
that
people
science is only one field.
denying someone's God-given talent, those people aren't Christians. But that's not my fight,
No,
and I don't want to talk about it either.
yeah,
As I said, you need to figure that out amongst yourselves.
yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
But we still haven't gotten to any evidence for creation.
Oh, I think there's evidence for creation. I don't think there's. See, here's what I'm going to say, and it's just going to sound contrary, but I'm going to say it anyways. I think there's evidence for creation. I don't think there's scientific evidence for creation. They're not one and the same.
Why is it that when you ask a young earth creationist for evidence,
Mhm.
they will talk and talk and talk and talk, but don't present any evidence for creation?
So
Just like you just like you do right now.
okay, in your opinion, do you think that AIG has never presented any evidence for creation?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Zilch.
All right.
They
What
do
about
lie a lot. They lie demonstrably, because they will post things about the natural world that contradict each other. But because they have millions of posts on their website, they're hoping that people don't see that. So they have one post in which llamas and camels are not related, and then they have another post in which camels and llamas are related. So which of the two is it? I mean, we know the fact, right? So, but why would they need to lie about it? They
um
also tell you that radiometric dating doesn't work, but then they build an ark in Kentucky, and they had the wood radiometrically dated, and so they can say how old it is. So it only works for them,
I
but not
I have
for
a question
us.
for you. I have a question for you. And this is actually true. I don't know how it happened, but I mean, I don't understand. I can see that I don't understand a lot of things. But there was a snail one time that was radiometric. They used radiometric dating on a live snail, and it was
Mhm.
and the radio it dated this snail that was alive at 27,000 years old. And I don't wonder how the hell does that happen.
I forgot the name for it. So there are several animals that you cannot, where you can't apply
Radiometric
car,
dating.
carbon 14 dating.
Yeah, well, that's what radiometric
Yes.
dating is. Yeah.
No, that's not what radiometric dating is. That is one out of many, many ways of radiometric dating, and it only goes back 50,000 years.
Oh, right.
So this is based on carbon 14, which every living animal and plant
requires for life. Yeah.
gets in through their food, and the moment they die, they stop taking in carbon 14. So you can see from the decay rate from there how old it is.
Right.
You can see how long ago it died. That's the better explanation. So you can't do that for fish. You can't do that for some snails. You can't do that for
right.
A lot of creatures. So yeah, the fact that someone was stupid enough to carbon 14 date a snail, I mean, you'll have stupid people. I mean, I've seen people send in dinosaur fossils to be carbon dated. I mean, yeah, stupid people will do stupid things. You can't carbon date rock, and a dinosaur fossil is rock, not bone. So there's nothing to date.
So C14 is that how you would be able to date what you would say the age of the Earth being at X billion years of age?
Considering that I just said that with carbon 14 dating, you can only go back about 50,000 years.
Oh, sorry. I thought
what would you say?
Sorry, I was confusing one with the other. It's radiometric dating. We go back billions of years.
The fact that we have several dating methods to test and that they all give basically the same result over anything between 4.5 billion years ago and today. Well, not today, because I think the dating starts at about
a little under 2 hours.
The 50s, because humans messed up the planet when they started using atomic bombs, and so now some of the dating systems don't work anymore because of human intervention, and we can actually date some of the things within days, knowing when a catastrophe happened, and so knowing exactly when the person died. And then with radiometric dating, we can get within days.
Okay. Do you think that do you think that, like, and this is just a question, of course. Do you think that it's reasonable to assume, is it reasonable to believe that we have equipment that can actually infer billions of years in the past?
It's not inferring.
Oh, sorry, not that we can read billions of years in the past. To me, that seems
measure. It can measure.
Measure.
Yes.
Okay. To me, that seems.
We can measure further back. We can measure back. The James Webb Telescope just gave us new information, so we can measure back 28 billion years ago.
Okay, see for those, the kind of numbers for me, like from I mean, this, and I will concede this is a problem on my mind. A problem in my mind is I have a hard time accepting that we have equipment that can measure that much into the past.
You think so? So
In
if
my
you have
mind, in my mind, it is.
if you know two sides of the triangle and you stand on the base of the third leg of the triangle, there's no way to figure out how far the farthest point of the triangle is away from you.
I think that's a false equivocation.
That's how they measure distances, and that's how they are able to measure a
measuring
distance.
distances, angles, and times is pretty conflated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They measure in light years, right?
I have no idea. Like I said, like this is not my area of
In
expertise.
cosmology, they measure in light years, don't they?
I don't know.
Other galaxies are any
Yeah,
amount of
that's true.
light
Yeah,
years
see,
away
yeah,
from
you're right.
Earth.
Yeah, that's right. They measure in
Okay.
light years. Same with the sun. They measure in light.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, someone said you're not a real
So
man.
so
That's what Don was.
so they
Sorry.
they so if they measure something that is 13 light years away,
Yeah, that would be 13. Yeah, so that would be 13 million light years. That's 300,000. I don't even know how what that is. I know the speed of light travels at 300,000 kilometers a second.
and the thing you see is that in real time?
No, it's not. I'm sorry. Yeah, you see it in real time, but you can't quantify.
You see it in real time.
Yeah, so but you can't quantify it in your mind, is what I'm saying.
So you see it in real time. So why is it that if there's a sun flare, it takes us 8 minutes to see it?
Because it takes 8 minutes to travel light to travel to the sun to the Earth.
Oh, so you don't see it in real time.
I suppose that's I suppose you got a point there.
Yeah, if light starts out from a single point and it takes 13 billion light years to get to our planet, you're seeing light that was emitted 13 billion years ago.
I see. I get your point.
So when we're looking into space, we're looking back into time.
Right.
We currently can look back 28 billion years.
That's a hell of a lot of time.
Which doesn't confirm with the Bible, and we still have zero evidence for a creation. Do you see how this is becoming a theme where I keep asking you for evidence and you come up with nothing?
Well, I mean, maybe
every question you've asked me so far, I was able to answer, and you can just use Google to see whether or not I'm correct. I always tell people that if I make a claim, afterwards, go find out whether or not I spoke the truth, and if I didn't, then get back to me.
Yeah, you have backed every question up, but you haven't provided evidence. You've given support for your claims. I will say that.
Why would I need to provide you with an education that you could have gotten yourself because you have the computer, you have internet, apparently you have time to talk to me. So you also have time to educate yourself by going on your computer and figuring out what we already know about the natural world. Why is that my task to teach you?
I didn't say it was.
I would love to teach you. I would love to teach you.
I didn't say it was. I will take. I didn't suggest it was.
I will take the exact same amount of money that teachers do, and if you're willing to pay me, I'm willing to teach you.
I know.
And one thing we don't do in university, and that is doing research for creation, because it never happened, because there's no evidence for it. So that would be very short research. There's no evidence. Case closed. You say there's evidence. I asked you for the evidence, and that was what?
About an hour ago.
Yeah. So it has taken you an hour to come up with nothing.
I've made claims that I've backed up, but I've not provided evidence.
You've made claims which you haven't backed up with evidence.
I just said
Because
that.
we're still waiting.
Stop paraphrasing me. It's annoying, man.
Yeah. So why not present some evidence? If you say there is evidence, then where is it?
Well, I did say too that there's a difference between evidence and scientific evidence. They're not one and the same. But usually the evidence. No, let me finish. Let me finish. Peter, let me finish.
The Bible is.
Peter, let me finish. Peter,
no,
let me.
I'm just asking a question.
Stop. Let me. But I want to say something before you ask a question. I was already in the middle of talking. You got to. Okay. I was saying that there's a difference between evidence and scientific evidence, and we're not. My follow up to that thought was, what you consider to be evidence is not the standard of necessarily of what is and isn't acceptable.
It's not me. It's not me.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
It's what we use on a daily basis. Nothing that humans do, figure out, create is not based on evidence. And the fact that you already said that your evidence isn't scientific, that means that the Bible and therefore creation is unscientific.
I didn't say it was unscientific. I said the Bible itself doesn't concern itself primarily with science.
No, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said the evidence for creation is not scientific. So by definition, it is unscientific. So therefore, the claims in the Bible about creation
you're
are
making
unscientific.
A false equivocation. You got to stop.
No, I'm using logic.
No, you're not. You're using a false equivocation.
You always bring up. No, you always bring up logic. This is how logic works.
No, but it's still
the evidence is unscientific.
You're making a category.
The evidence is unscientific.
I'm going to keep interrupting you until you stop, so I can say what I want to say.
As I said, that's what you do.
Okay. Well, the thing is, I gotta call you on it's a false equivocation. The reason it's a false equivocation is because the difference between something that isn't scientific on the front of it and unscientific or anti-scientific. That's the category I made.
No, it's not.
It's a logical fallacy. You did not apply logic. It's a logical fallacy, Peter.
Okay, name me one scientific field that uses unscientific evidence.
I didn't say it was unscientific. I said the Bible doesn't concern itself primarily with scientific inquiry. But that doesn't mean it's not science.
It makes scientific claims. Granted, it's pseudoscience.
It makes.
But when the Bible claims that heaven and earth were created by some deity, were spoken into existence.
Mm-hmm.
i.e., I speak into being, which back in the day was pronounced abracadabra.
I'm sure that was how exactly how God said it. But go on.
Well, I mean, it's unscientific. If there's no scientific evidence for something, then it's unscientific.
It's just not. It's not.
By definition, it is. By definition, something for which there is no scientific evidence is unscientific. Because if it was scientific, there would be scientific evidence for it. That's how science works.
And my response to that is, it's not unscientific. It just doesn't deal primarily with scientific claims, which is not the same thing.
Therefore, it's unscientific.
If you say so.
No, this is how language works, Robbie. You cannot change your own language.
I'm not changing it. I'm merely making a slight adjustment to your claim about.
Okay, and I asked you to back up that claim by naming a field of science that doesn't use scientific evidence, and I'm still waiting, and I will still be waiting tomorrow at the same time, and next week at the same time, and next year at the same time, the same way I'm waiting for evidence for God, because you keep tap dancing around and saying, well, it's not scientific. Well, it's not this. Well, it's not that. Well, what is it? Name your best evidence for a God. Go ahead.
Well, I was actually
Behold.
talking about the science stuff now. But let me deal with one thing at a time.
I never mentioned the word science. I said evidence. Evidence is a body of facts that indicate
Yeah.
indicate in a way such as it favors one hypothesis over another. I never mentioned scientific. I mentioned facts.
Okay, this is a fact. This is actually in Genesis 1, by the way. This is I'm not. You can just read on the face. You can respond however you want. But this is 3 verses in Genesis. It's not that long. Maybe take me maybe a minute to read it tops.
Read it. Don't talk so much. Read it.
Okay, Genesis 1:20 to 23. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living thing with the waters that teem that moves about it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that was good. God bless them.
Great. That's a claim. That's a claim. So where's the evidence?
No, Peter, I'm not even finished yet. You got your horrible listener, man.
You think I don't know the Bible? I know the Bible better than you do.
I doubt it. Actually, okay, let's put that to the test right now.
No, let's not put that to the test. Let's
so you don't want to be found out to be a liar, do you, Peter?
You don't want to be found out as a liar because I've asked you an hour ago for evidence for God. We're an hour in, you have still to provide one
Peter,
piece of evidence.
You just said you know the Bible more than me. Now I'm going to.
Yes, and we'll get to that right after you present. Yeah, great. You can right after we get to evidence for God. Go ahead.
So it has to be on your terms. I see how it is.
No. My question was an hour ago. If I can wait an hour, you can wait an hour.
Okay. That's
right?
Fair enough. That's fair.
I'm still waiting.
Okay. So you're circling back to this every time about.
Because you're being dishonest. Claiming that you have evidence, which is by now clearly a lie because we're 1 hour in and you won't present any.
There's no evidence that you accept. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Then it's not evidence.
Oh, so you just conceded it's not evidence you accept. It's not the same. It's equating what evidence is.
No, because it doesn't matter.
Because 5 minutes ago,
Peter, it doesn't matter.
Affirmed that you lie. You just affirmed that you lied.
No, and I can explain to you why.
Coward,
because there's no way for me to deny a fact.
You do it every day. You're doing it right now.
So do you think it would be possible for me to deny that behind you there's a wall made up of gray tiles in 2 different shades? I could deny that.
You could.
Do you think?
Yes.
I could deny that.
That's not what we're talking about.
I could deny that because we can measure the shades of gray. We can take pictures of it. We can have independent verification whether or not those are tiles, whether or not there's white grout between the tiles. Do you think that there would be any way for me to deny this when it's a verifiable fact?
No,
I don't think so. I could deny it, but that would make me a liar.
Okay, but I've never seen evolution like I can see this wall behind me.
No, I just gave you several things that you know and you have seen, and now you lie about having seen them.
What have I lied about seeing it, Peter?
Dogs. Cauliflower.
Of course, I've seen dogs.
Broccoli.
What does
Brussels sprouts.
That doesn't prove evolution.
Corn.
That is nothing that proves evolution. That's just claims. This is claims, baseless, factless,
useless claims. It's claims those things exist.
No, it's a claim that they prove evolution. It's a claim that they prove evolution.
It's a claim that humans brought all these into existence using evolution. That's a claim.
No, humans would bring
Where
dogs.
did cauliflower come from? Did God create cauliflower?
So they created the seed for it.
God created the seed for cauliflower.
Hmm?
Out of and humans were stupid enough to not notice and therefore created their own cauliflower.
Some of them were,
Stupid.
But then again, educating you is like talking to a
We
freaking
we know that we made it, right? It's mind-boggling.
So you think that
Absolutely mind-boggling.
do you think that human beings actually created dogs?
Yes, because it's documented.
Do you think that human
The
beings
same way we've documented how we create the same way we've documented how we created bananas.
Well, that's a bit different.
Because the banana that we eat never ever grew in the wild. Humans cultivated the Cavendish banana.
Oh, someone's like,
Which a fun fact, the Cavendish banana is the only plant that can walk.
Peter just said on air on my live stream that humans created dogs. Now everyone knows how much of an idiot Peter is.
Yeah. I mean, we have the documents for it. So yeah,
it's like saying I've got a document in my basement for let's see, I can think of something absurd. I might have a hard time thinking of something absurd off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's so stupid that we can actually go see the documents and then still say they're not there. That's so stupid.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's like saying I know. It's like I got a document in my basement that saying I created whales. It's so freaking stupid.
Yeah, that's so stupid because we can go to your document and find that the document's not there, right?
Well, I mean,
whereas
the
for
thing is,
my documents,
I could
whereas for my documents, you can actually go and find the documents. You can go to the museums in there are at least several in China that have the documentation. You can go there and see them.
Oh man! And you accuse me of low IQ, and you think we created dogs? Man, you're a freaking joke. Oh man!
I thought you were stupid. I didn't think you were insane.
You are insane if you think we